I made my daughter bawl her eyes out, and I couldn't stop smiling. We'd just finished practicing every single move from her dance recital in our living room, and I was so happy watching her still dancing while we walked to her recital, pink tutu bouncing with each step. "Watch, Daddy, watch!" She spun into her pirouette right there on the sidewalk, but as she walked in front of me over the crosswalk, I saw it coming. The Ford F-350, heading straight for my baby girl, still spinning, eyes closed, completely lost in her dance. She was about to be crushed. There was no time to yell, no time to think. I launched myself at her, both hands shoving her tiny body as hard as I could, felt her ribs under my palms, saw her eyes snap open in shock as she flew backwards onto the grass. She was out of the way, but then the truck hit me. I remember the impact, completely folding me in half before I could react. I remember the windshield exploding into diamonds, my entire body going numb. I started flying, actually flying through the air, thinking this can't be real. I hit the ground 20 feet from where I was, and the last thing I remember was my daughter screaming, "Dad! Daddy!" I was in a coma for 24 hours, until I woke up to my daughter's face hovering over me, her eyes red and puffy from crying. As soon as she saw me open my eyes, she lit up. "Daddy!" She reached for me, and I tried to sit up, tried to stand to hug her, to tell her everything was okay, but nothing happened. I was so confused because my legs wouldn't move. I could see them, but no matter how hard I tried, they just wouldn't do anything. Then I realized what happened. They told me I severed a vertebrae in my spine and would probably never walk again. I had to go home in a wheelchair and watched as my daughter danced by herself in the living room without me. "Please, Dad, just try and stand up. I know you can if you believe." I tried so hard to stay strong for her, but staying strong got harder when she came home upset almost every day. "They push me sometimes," she finally admitted. "They say I have a crippled dad. They say you can't even stand up to protect me anymore." That's when I broke. I couldn't live with myself anymore. Not because of what I'd lost, but because of what she was losing. Her friends, her childhood. I went to pick her up from school one day and heard her getting ridiculed for having a no-legger dad who had to park in the handicap spot. This went on for 8 years. However, I got a call from my physician last month. He told me about an experimental spinal surgery that they'd only give to people with low quality of life. 20% chance you could walk again, he said. 80% chance it could paralyze you from the neck down. I cried that night, but I knew this was my only chance. "You could ruin your life, sir. This is a huge risk." I took one more look at that wheelchair and made my choice. I took the surgery. I was absolutely scared to death, but I just wanted to make my daughter smile. I got wheeled in, ready to take the biggest gamble of my life, but I woke up and could still move my arms. A month ago, I felt the slightest tingle in my legs. It was hope, and I've been working hard up until today. I had a surprise for my daughter, who moved away for university last year. I was so excited. I set up my phone and FaceTimed her, ready to show her what I'd been doing. She answered on the third ring, barely looking at the screen. "Hey, Dad, what's up? I've got like 2 minutes before." I didn't say anything. I just stood straight up from my wheelchair like it was the most normal thing in the world. Her face went through every emotion at once: confusion, disbelief. She stopped dead in the middle of campus, other students flowing around her. Dad, are you? Oh my God. Dad, are you standing?" "Yes, honey. And soon, maybe in a few weeks, I'll be strong enough to walk with you through that park near your campus. Remember how we used to walk to your recitals?" That's when I saw it, her eyes filling up. She didn't say anything. She just started crying with tons of people around her. I hate seeing my daughter cry, so I did the only thing I could think of. I started trying to recreate the daddy-daughter dance I hadn't done with her since the day of the accident. I did my best, but when she realized what I was doing, I thought for sure she'd cheer up. My attempt was unsuccessful. She started crying more.